being human with you. No evil, you need to know evil to truth seek. Unbelief we must reconcile, see, hear and speak. No greater cause than to let the secret of love's light leak. Unpause no more, open the truth and cry out, see, hear and speak. No blind light to lose your way, no deaf ear to truth today. No voiceless heart, let me hear you say, see, hear, and speak.
Hello there, welcome to episode 4 of Being Human with You. I nearly wasn't prepared for the introduction there. If that came through, that's fine. I'm just depositing my phone to the side. I am in this present moment with you, but just caught off camera slightly. Never mind, it's Being Human with You. I've got a t-shirt on, and it's more than a t-shirt. That's the descriptive term of it in its most functional level. And it's a deeper experience for me, more than a t-shirt. You may or may not be able to see it. I might take some images as well, but I'll just step to the side. I'll move the headphones out of the way a bit. Now, I want to give my heartfelt gratitude to Barbara, Babs, as I like to call Barbara. House friend, that's how I'm going to describe Barbara. And so busy, so productive, incredibly supportive, even in the midst of the things that, as all individuals, we're going through in life. Very busy in the house at the moment. And anyway, long story short, Babs is getting really, really creative with craft, balloons, t-shirts, etc. And I have a performance at time of recording. I'm doing both of Friday reflections of this week and next week's episode, as will be Monday. Where are we? I think that's the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you. Monday the 4th of May. That I need to record these episodes today because I'm travelling down south back to the 80s. Grouse and Ale used to be called the Clayton Arms. I'm sharing this all across social media. It's where I used to gig in the 80s, Lane End. It would have been where I started writing songs well over 40 years ago. And it's going to be a big thing. It's going to be a big occurrence and a big journey back into the past. And we talked. This is the cover for aiming for the release of the album. I'm hoping by the time I share this podcast, I've got information back from the distributor that the album is good to go. And this image that Babs has very kindly placed on the t-shirt is the album cover. A little bit of issues over performers because I've released this music under a different name previously, Oversoul and the Architects of Passion. Because I'm now trying to release it under my name and I've written the songs. It's ridiculous, really. It's causing an issue with the naming, the distribution, etc. And it looked like, because Babs is so busy, she wasn't going to be able to do the t-shirt, which is not an issue because it looks like distribution has been held up. Presented this to me yesterday. Barbara did. I'll interchange between Babs and Barbara. Presented this to me. And I was absolutely blown away. I really was, on a level of human kindness, thoughtfulness, consideration, being treated as a being, as a human being. And lo and behold, Babs gave me the t-shirt ahead of me travelling down south to perform. So of course, regardless of what's happening with the album, I'm going to be wearing this t-shirt with pride. And I am incredibly grateful for the t-shirt, but also the sensitivity and the care amidst being very, very busy and sharing that for me, not just with me, for me. That's the bit that's making me feel very emotional. So I'm very grateful for that. And I think it's another indicator, not just I think, I know. It's another indicator of the wonderful qualities and characteristics that the majority of human beings have. I do the best I can to include myself in that. I don't think I've got it to the side. I shared in social media the other day. There's a drink called Good Rays. I might just pop the image in here. There's a drink called Good Rays. It's kind of like a calming, natural drink. And I did a social media post with me holding this can of Good Rays. I don't claim to be good. I feel it's a pointless exercise. We're all a level of different things, good, bad, indifferent, because we're human. And I think at times people get a little bit stuck in trying to perceive that somebody is whatever that something is. They're stuck in that way of being. I don't even want to attempt to try to be good. I know there are good things about me. I know there are bad things about me. What I'm trying to be, which I already am, is human. And I'm encouraging others to do likewise. So do that in the comments, because we've been talking about past, present, and future. And I'm going to continue today to talk a little bit about the past. Why I'm doing what I'm doing this year. Michelle, we were together for a long period of time, many years, Michelle Roach. And Michelle gave me this idea, and I'll always do the best I can to her credit. And because I'm not trying to be anything I'm not, basically. I like to have a good appearance, as in, how people perceive me, but I'm making the best I can, as I know you are as well, through this experience of life. And Michelle, at the end of last year, gave me a suggestion. In fact, actually, I think it might have even been the beginning of this year. I turned 60 at the conclusion of last year. And I wanted to make more out of the birthday than just one day. I'm 60 plus so many years of age now. And I wanted to make a year out of my 60th. And Michelle suggested about revisiting places of significance in my life. And ironically, there are around about 12 places. So across 12 months, that's what I'm doing. Check that out in a separate episode. And I've already been to Place of Birth Stevenage. That was January. Second month, Felixstowe. We moved to Stevenage, from Stevenage to Felixstowe. High Wycombe, very, very personal message I'm sharing. Outside Bowerdine Road, a house that we lived at when my dad left. I'm not going to share any more than that. Check the video out. Now, there's going to be a fourth episode, which is recorded in April, but I won't be able to release it until beginning of May, which is back to the 80s, back to Lane End, back to that place. I don't think I'll be able to, you never know, I might be able to put in bits of the performance images here, possibly, if I get edit time over the weekend. Then, the following day, after the 30th of April performance at the Grouse and Ale, used to be the Clayton Arms, I'm returning again to High Wycombe for a different chapter of High Wycombe. When I moved out of the house where I lived with my mum and stepdad in Lane End, I might be doing a few keepy uppies outside the house. We then moved to High Wycombe when I was first married. And there'll be more around that. I'm not going to give too much away. Why? Why am I doing this? Is this some nostalgic journey? I'm taking a trip down memory lane with you. To some degree, yes, but not only. What I'm trying to encourage, even though at times it has already surfaced some painful thoughts and experiences, I'm wanting to revisit the past on my terms, not on anybody else's terms. And I'm encouraging others to do likewise. Because one of the patterns I've noticed in life is that others project not only their past, but our past, and influence very much our perception of things that happened. I think tragically parents do that all the time, and with devastating results. So my feeling is to go back. But not just to go back, this is the whole series. Yes, I'm revisiting the past, but I'm doing it now. I'm doing it in this moment. And I'm also moving towards the future, as we all are. I feel it's constructing, it's creating. I'm going to endeavour, I think I will in a moment in this episode 4, very similar to Friday Reflections. But I want to stay on the past a bit longer. I think that's definitely coming to me. So I'd like to clip this moment. It's definitely coming to me, which is spending longer, not trying to avoid, not accepting a version that was portrayed to us, an interpretation that was portrayed to us, but us being able to revisit our past. Because a lot of times my past has been about other people and not about me. Now, I'm not suggesting it needed to be 100% about me, but I think at times it should have been more than it was. Definitely. And that's what people do. And maybe I might be speaking for you, because what you've experienced is somebody not just saying this is how it was, but perpetuating that infinitum. They've carried on even beyond the past, moving way beyond when it was. And decades after, still holding to, even when perhaps parties involved, parents, have died, have passed, still bastardizing, I'll use that phrase, the past. And for me, I'm taking the reins. I'm taking the decision to chronologically, I feel we will be sharing Chronos again, hoping the album's coming out soon, but that kind of fitted. For time, our time. This life is our time. I'm not saying others don't matter. If anybody's hearing that, you're misunderstanding. You're mishearing what I'm saying. It's not all about me, but it's not all about you. It's about us. If we're in a connection, in a friendship, in a relationship, in a family, why does it have to be only about the other person or people and not about you? One life. That's what we get. One life. So talk about the past. And I'd love to have in the comments, I'm going to make it specific because I do feel we're staying there a little longer because it's often a challenge. How can you make the past more your own? How can you create in your mind, in your heart, in your persona, a way that it's not to do with toxic forgiveness. It's not saying, let it go, surrender, forgive them. That's nobody else's right to project that on anybody. And when you've experienced, I'm talking of you now, when you've experienced deep level trauma, nobody else has the right to say, forgive them. Because of course, some things are unforgivable and should be, and should remain that way. But I want to share the question again. Not in that way, not in a way of just let it go, let the past go, surrender. Not at all. That's far easier said than done. And I think those who say that sometimes at times are plastic, toxic, spiritual. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be human. What can we do in our own thoughts and in our own feelings to make the past our own and ideally to create, to build, to construct, even from that pain of the past? What can we do? Because I feel once we do that, yes, okay, it may be easier for me. I'm a writer. I use the medium of music, songwriting particularly, to channel those past experiences. The album Inside of Me is completely that. The new album that's going to come at some time, Oversoul the Reform, is completely that. It's constructed from many experiences of the past. But also, the album moves more into now and potentially the future, because it's going beyond just my own experience. It's more of, I feel the album Inside of Me is as well. It's a shared experience too, but it definitely comes from a more personal point of view. Yes, I can do that, but how can we all do that? How can we all decide, rather than letting the past continue to potentially destroy me, what can I do with it? How can I choose? How can I build from that pain? And that could include, of course, protecting ourselves, which is why trust was such an important subject in episode 2. Protecting ourselves against the future possibility. But it also isn't that then I'm no longer gonna exchange in the currency of trust. I'm now no longer going to trust because I've experienced so much betrayal and mistrust and distrust in the past. I'm never going to trust again. That's not safe. That's not healthy. But again, I want to share. That's not to say whatever. Just let it go. You're still living in the past. We're always living in the past. We're products of the past. The shape I am now, including, it's what came to me, so I share it, the shape of my neck is very much created by the past. The brutality of surgery and radiation. The feelings I constantly have in my shoulders and neck, in my mouth, the dryness is a product of the past. But rather than thinking, I can't do what I used to do, I do struggle at times, what can I do? What can I make out of that? What can I build? So I think in conclusion, I'd love to have your thoughts. Drop in the comments your thoughts of how you are taking the reins. You are taking control. Rather than somebody has ripped pages out of your book. Rather than somebody has ripped pages out of your book. They've erased your past. Rather than it being that, what parts of it, and from the experiences, how have you, how will you, how can you change that into something more positive for you and for others? That's a big one. And that's a big one in the comments. And I now understand why I've stayed with the past a little bit longer in this conversation. It's incredible to be with you. Remember, it is us being human with you. Drop in the comments any thoughts, future subject matter, suggestions, ideas, answers to perhaps some of the thoughts I'm bringing up. It's an open conversation, very fluid. I'll share now a couple of final video clips, images possibly, and also a couple of outro songs as well. Very busy couple of days. Watch this space, check out the other videos. Yes, it's lovely when you like, wonderful when you subscribe. It's even better when you share, and it's even better when you comment, because this is a conversation. So 2 songs to conclude with. I'm not going to explain the first one. It's very emotional. Only thing I will say is, apparently I was going to be called Daniel, not Raymond. And the song is a reflection of, would life have possibly been different? Definitely for me, if I would have been called Daniel. It's like a Sliding Doors inspired song. And then we'll also have as well, Kronos. It's time. And it's time for us to promote even more than ever before, being human. Keep being the incredible human being that you are. Really looking forward to being with you very soon. It's a busy couple of days. Little Raymond is going to be a bit tired, but I can't wait to share back in the 80s and more. Until next time, take great care of yourself. Much love to you. Bye-bye.
Another day, holding Daniel, holding me. What's in a name? What's in my given identity? Why do we suffer? There came another day, holding Daniel, holding me. Another day, another day, another day, holding Daniel, holding me. Some people try to explain every moment that I feel. Are they prepared to suffer this pain of another day, holding Daniel? Another day, another day, another day, another day, another day, holding Daniel, holding me. Word, what would you say if you had your very last breath? Would you give it away to me? Another day, what's in my name? Another day, why did I suffer the game? Another day, every moment that I feel. Another day holding on. Another day holding me. Another day, every moment that I feel. Another day, holding on, holding Daniel, holding me. Evolution, revolution, creation. Is it time? Follow the science. Time's reliance. Is it flat or is it round? Money trial, blind compliance. Is the research found? Follow the trails. Time flows. Hold it, don't waste it. Time flows. Eat it and taste it. We are here beyond, in the moment gone, never lost in the throng. We are